It is truly a wonder to watch the global elites and the media and the politicians that have tried to push off the Great Reset as no big deal, nothing to see. It's just a conspiracy. It's from the World Economic Forum. It's no big deal. They don't have any power. Really? When we first started calling this out, that was the first line of attack. We were conspiracy theorists. We believe the World Economic Forum was some master cabal that, they're having star chamber meetings, and none of those things are true. None of those things are true. None of those things are what we said. They're not calling shots from some evil underground lair. They have connections with the most powerful people, the richest and most politically powerful people in the world, and they meet at Davos. It's just that. And they're like-minded. So all that people were saying at the beginning was that this is a conspiracy theory. It's not. This week, from all over the globe, they are speaking at the Davos World Economic Forum. And tonight, coincidentally, we are airing a commercial-free special on the Great Reset. The same week, the Economic Forum is trying to sell their agenda. I'm going to show you what that agenda is really all about. And I find it interesting that it's the same voices that are still saying conspiracy theory or diminish what's going on. I want to give you a quote from Jack Dorsey from Twitter. Yesterday, he tweeted out, "The amount of attention World Economic Forum receives is inversely proportional to the organization's usefulness." It's useless. Really? If it's useless, why are you spending the time tweeting about it? If it truly is useless, pigs in a blanket, really highly overrated breakfast food. They're useless. Well, I'm not making that tweet because pigs in a blanket are really not an important breakfast food. Not everybody's talking about that. Deep Thoughts by Jack. Eye boogers. They're pointless. They're annoying. They're useless. The World Economic Forum is not useless. If you look just at who is speaking, Xi Jinping was the lead speaker earlier this week. The president of China. If you look at the number of prime ministers, central bank people, gigantic corporations, BlackRock alone has more money and holds more investment money than any other anything on the planet. Makes the Queen look like a pauper. They are at the World Economic Forum, and they are helping design the policy. Let me give you an example of what the World Economic Forum really is. Do you remember back in the 1970s, there was something called the Heritage Foundation? It's still out. But in the 1970s, the Heritage Foundation came along, and it was founded to redirect America's principles back to conservative principles and the founding. And in the 70s, the left ignored it. They laughed. "Oh, we got this in the bag. Jimmy Carter, we're fine." Something happened. These people were thinking, planning, strategizing, and connecting with people who had power and a new vision. Ronald Reagan won in a landslide, much because of the Heritage Foundation. It kicked off 12 years of Republican control in the White House. That's the Heritage Foundation, okay? That was well funded back in the 70s, but not like the World Economic Forum. It had connections, but not like the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, a global think tank that is injecting 21st century fascism directly onto elected officials and global financial and corporate juggernauts. Imagine if the Heritage Foundation had the eyes and ears of every prime minister and president in the world. The vast majority of not only the corporate leaders, but the corporate boards and all of the major financial institutes, including the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the European Central Bank, the Japanese Central Bank, the American Central Bank. Do you think that the world would be the same if the Heritage Foundation had that group of people in the 1970s? No. No, we would be a radically different country. So, Jack, as much as I appreciate your opinion, it's ridiculous to think that these people are worthless. Really? How come all of these billionaires and trillionaires are all making their way to do they just really love skiing together that much? I don't think so. Jason's with us. He's our head writer, head researcher, and there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. First of all, the special, because you hadn't read the book, you weren't involved in the research. I mean, some of the research, but you weren't on the day-to-day, working on the book. You read the book. What was your takeaway?
My takeaway was, I think back to over a year ago when I first brought this in. And we're like, what the heck is this? This is probably something we should look at. And we started in little chunks, just exposing things in chunks. Banks, ESG, corporations. Those were multiple different shows. And after I read the book, or while I was reading the book, I was like, this is the first time I've ever seen all of those pieces put together, but in an easy to understand way. Because, we were trying. It's hard to explain this stuff easily.
It's really hard. And it was about a year and a half ago when you first, I don't remember what you stumbled on, but you were like, have you ever heard of the Great Reset? And it was the time that I was questioning Build Back Better, going, what the hell? That's the worst slogan I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And that is the slogan from the World Economic Forum that everybody's using all around the world. I didn't know that I thought that was a Joe Biden thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And I remember I don't remember what you brought to me, but I remember thinking, this is really important. This explains a lot. You remember that?
Yeah, well, I think it was probably when we were looking through just a bunch of quotes, because everyone was talking about the World Economic Forum Great Reset as being something positive. But then we would pull little quotes and it would say, we're redefining capitalism. Other quotes is, you will own nothing and you'll like it, or be happy. And we're like, what? Redefining capitalism? And then we started looking into stakeholder capitalism, and what the heck does that even mean?
Yep.
But the book really goes into explaining that in a very, very easy way. And tonight, if you've already read the book, you're going to watch the show, and this is going to be almost like a Cliff's version for that. So if there's things that you didn't understand, tonight you're going to fully understand. If there's things that you wanted a little bit more clarification on, like more examples, like for instance, tonight, you talked about in the book a lot how ESG is, being used to force companies and banks, to redirect money into places that they want, or issues that they want.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to show you exactly how. And we've showed you a little bit of this in other shows, but the context that it's in now tonight, it's all going to crystallize. You are going to completely understand what this is about. You are going to completely understand how they are doing it. It is vital to watch tonight.
So tonight, like Jason just said, it is vital to watch. We are doing this. You can't get the book. Amazon and everywhere else, they've taken the buy button off because they're so far behind in printing. You can't. The only way to get it is a digital copy through Kindle. I urge you, please, get a copy of the book. I am not for digital copies. I don't like reading. I read things on digital, but if it's important, I always have it because it's easier to remember when you have the tactile book in front of you
and notes.
Yeah. So it's I urge you to get the book, but please buy the Kindle book. We don't have time to waste. This is the worst situation we could have imagined, where you can't even get it. But I noticed that this is taking off faster than anything else we have ever exposed.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is. There are already things that are happening. I'm going to talk to two people. One, West Virginia, I think it's the state treasurer, who is now, they're divesting from BlackRock.
Good.
And next hour also, I'm talking to somebody here in Texas, because we already signed a bill. The governor signed it here in Texas to divest from BlackRock, and now they're not doing it. I want to hold the politicians' feet to the fire. What the hell is happening there? But Have you noticed a change in the BlackRock attitude even in the last week?
Oh, just in some of that one instance you talk about in Texas, the way that they're wording things now, they're not puffing their chest out as much before.
Correct.
Because they had no one to stand against them and no one was
Correct.
questioning anything.
Correct.
But now they're like, oh, no, we're not going to put you out of business. You know, this is just something that, bull crap.
Right.
Bull crap.
Right. Here's this came out. This just came out from BlackRock, from Larry Fink, who's the head of BlackRock. So you know, and you'll understand this in the book and on the special, BlackRock is the biggest investment firm in the world. They have $7 or $10 trillion under management just themselves. But when you add the European Central Bank and the Federal Reserve, you're approaching $30 trillion that they directly affect. That's massive. Nobody's ever been like that. They're also the only Western group to ever be allowed in to China to do investing as well. It's very bad. Anyway, so Larry Fink just wrote, when my partners and I founded BlackRock starting 34 years ago, we had no experience running a company. Over the last 3 decades, I've had the opportunity to talk with countless CEOs and learn what distinguishes truly great companies. Time and time again, they all share we have a clear sense of purpose, consistent values, and crucially, they recognize the importance of engaging with and delivering for their key stakeholders. This is the foundation of stakeholder capitalism. Stakeholder capitalism is not about politics. It's not a social or ideological agenda. It's not woke. It's capitalism driven by mutual beneficial relationships between you, the employees, the customers, suppliers, and communities your company relies on so they can prosper. This is the power of capitalism. This is an out and out lie. This is the happiest spin you could possibly put on this pig. This is lipstick that you're like, dude, man, you're still kissing a pig. It's still a pig. No, look how pretty she is. It's crazy because they are now starting to defend themselves. It hasn't happened before. Mm-hmm. The things that the opposition will do, there are trillions of dollars at stake. I'm not suicidal. I am in a very good mood. I'm a very good driver. My brakes work. There's trillions of dollars at stake, and they are not going to sit idly by. But I will tell you, local is the only thing they cannot beat. Local. I'll explain more of that tonight. Get the book, get the Kindle version right now, The Great Reset. You just go to glensnewbook.com, click on the Kindle version, and download it and read it now. Tonight, full commercial-free episode on Blaze TV.